So hi everyone. So I'm getting repeated questions about the H. pylori kit. So I'd like to read out the important points regarding the RUT test kit. See, RUT test is an indirect test for the presence of H. pylori. So we are not taking the bacteria while doing the endoscope, and we are not isolating the bacteria and studying it whether the bacteria is present or not. So we are using a indirect method. What is indirect method? On the presence of urease. So we are checking whether the removed sample has urease or not, because H. pylori yields in urease or secrete the urease. So we are not identifying the H. pylori, we are identifying the presence of urease enzyme, which indirectly says that there is a possibility of having the H. pylori in the stomach mucosa. So it's an indirect method. RUT rapid urease test kit to identify the H. pylori is an indirect method on the mucosa. Gastric mucosa is an advantage over the serology. Serology means doing the blood test. See, if we do the blood test, in blood test we come to know that whether the antibodies against the H. pylori are present or not. If a person has a H. pylori infection in the previous days, and he may show the antibodies for H. pylori after the H. pylori eradication also. But the RUT test detect the presence of active infection. So at the present, is there any infection or not? So that is found by the RUT test only, not by the serology test. Serology will tell us whether the person got antibodies for the H. pylori or not. Means if he has any H. pylori infection in the previous days also, now also he may show the positive antibodies. But the RUT test kit will tell us the presence of active infection. If the infection was present in the previous days, now it will show in negative. If it is showing now it has a positive, then definitely it has an active infection. The sensitivity of the RUT is 80% to 100%, whereas specificity is 97% to 99%. Sensitivity means true positive. If it is saying positive, then there are chances of having it positive 80% to 100%. It is present. If this RUT is saying negative, then the chances of getting means having not having the H. pylori is 97% to 99%. Sensitivity means true positive, specificity means true negative. So it has very good sensitivity and specificity ratio. So it's the most reliable test. The sensitivity and specificity depends on the size of the forceps. Size of the forceps taking the biopsy. So here we can see this is a biopsy forceps what we are using while taking the and while doing the endoscope. You can see just for the comparison I am putting my finger over that. See, it's a small forceps which is used for the taking the biopsy and all for while doing the endoscope. So 2 to 3 mm of biopsy is sufficient for the H. pylori infection, to detect H. pylori infection, and anything smaller than this, then we may get an improper results. Each RUT strip is inspected for the color change. If the agar based media does not show a yellow color, the RUT strip must be discarded. So this is the RUT strip what we are using. Before using, it should be in the yellow, and you have to peel it and put the tissue and put the distilled water that I have shown in the many of my videos, and afterwards observe the change in color. Either pink to red is said to be positive, and presence of remaining it as that of the previous, that is a yellow, then it says it's a negative. And afterwards we need to mention the patient details on the back side of the strip. timing, age, gender and name. Coming to the procedure, biopsy specimen for the RUT may be taken by the endoscopist after through the examination of the stomach. The recommended area for the biopsy is the antrum. So if this is the stomach, so this part is the commonest part said to be as the antrum, common part for the colonization of the H. pylori, and next common part is the corpus, that is the body of the stomach. So these are the two areas where we take the biopsy for H. pylori detection, and afterwards we'll put 1 or 2 drops and observe the change in color. So 1 or 2 drops of water and squeeze it and observe for the change in color. The test will show positive results in 10 to 180 minutes time frame, means 10 minutes to 3 hours. So anything which shows a change in color within 10 minutes is, we can say, is a high colonization. Up to 1 hour a medium colonization, up to 3 hours it is a weak colonization of the H. pylori. So many of the questions I'm getting regarding this timing only. Many of people says that first 24 hours it was yellow, and after 24 hours it was turned into pink or red. So that's what, this is the reason why I made a video on this, so that it will be easier and clear for everyone. See, he has said that a positive results after 24 hours are most often false positive. So after 24 hours it is changing its color, then it's a false positive, and should be used for that, should not be used for the treatment decisions. Turn positive from the presence of non-H. pylori urease containing organism. If anything turning after 24 hours, then it is a non-H. pylori. There are some other organisms which are releasing the urease, so that could be the reason for change in color. And one more important thing, whatever the PPI you are receiving, like pantoprazole, rabeprazole, so whatever the antacids to reduce the acidity what you are taking, so at least before taking the RUT test, before going into the endoscopy, stop taking their regular doses. So you should stop taking. So it is said that 2 weeks before the RUT. So at least 15 days you have to stop the antacids, and afterwards you have to go for the endoscopy. In some literature it's said that 5 days is sufficient, and some literature it's said that 2 weeks before the RUT. So hope I have tried to clear your doubts regarding the H. pylori. So if you still have any doubts, you can write in the comment box. Thank you.